The ocean floor, it sounds like a faraway place. Most of us think about mountains or forests when we think about Earth's history. But the deep, dark bottom of the sea, it's easy to forget it's even there. Still, this vast, hidden part of our planet holds so many secrets. It's like a giant library, a massive archive. And what it tells us about our past, especially how life got started and how it changed over millions of years, is just mind-blowing. You see, the ocean floor isn't just a flat, sandy bed, it's a dynamic place. It's made of layers and layers of stuff that has fallen down over time. Bits of rock, dust, dead plants and animals. All compressed, year after year, century after century. It builds up slowly, very slowly, and because it's so deep, it's mostly undisturbed, no strong winds. No huge rivers carving things away, just a slow, steady piling up. This makes it an amazing place to find records. Better than most places on land, actually. On land, erosion from wind and rain washes things away. The earthquakes shake things up. Humans build on things. But deep in the ocean, it's mostly quiet. And because of that quiet, things get saved. Think of it like this: every time something falls to the bottom of the ocean, it's like adding a new page to a very old book. And each page tells a story about what was happening on Earth at that time. What the climate was like, what creatures were swimming around, what the chemistry of the ocean was. And we can dig into those pages. Scientists can take long core samples. They're like giant straws that pull up cylinders of mud and sediment, sometimes many meters long. And then they can slice those cores open. It's like unwrapping a time capsule. Each layer is a snapshot of history. And when we look at those snapshots, we start to see patterns. We start to understand evolution. Where did life even start? This is a huge question. And the ocean floor gives us some really strong clues. Many scientists think life began not on the surface, but deep in the ocean, near hydrothermal vents. These are like underwater geysers, cracks in the Earth's crust where superheated, mineral-rich water shoots out. It's dark down there, no sunlight, but there's a lot of chemical energy, and these chemicals could have been the building blocks for the very first simple life forms. We find these vents all over the ocean floor, especially along mid-ocean ridges, where new crust is being formed. And around these vents, even today, there are whole ecosystems thriving. They don't use sunlight for energy like most life on Earth. They use chemicals from the vents. Bacteria and archaea, tiny single-celled organisms, convert these chemicals into energy. And then other creatures like giant tube worms and strange shrimp eat those bacteria. It's a completely different way of life, and what's amazing is that these types of organisms, these deep-sea microbes, are thought to be some of the oldest types of life on Earth. They are like living fossils of metabolism. They show us how life could have started when our planet was very young, hot, and had no oxygen in the atmosphere. The ocean floor preserved the conditions, and the organisms that thrive there today are a window into that ancient past. So, the very first steps of evolution, the jump from non-living chemicals to living cells, seems to have a strong link to the ocean floor. But what about when life got more complex? What about animals? The ocean floor also tells us about the big evolutionary jumps. For a long, long time, Earth only had simple, single-celled life. Then, around 540 million years ago, something incredible happened. It's called the Cambrian Explosion. Suddenly, almost all the major groups of animals we see today appeared in the fossil record. Animals with eyes, legs, shells, and all sorts of complex body plans. And almost all of these early animals lived in the ocean. The fossils from this time, though often found in what is now land, are from ancient marine environments. The conditions of the ancient seafloor, its chemistry, its temperature, the oxygen levels, all recorded in the layers of rock and sediment, helped set the stage for this massive evolutionary boom. And it wasn't just about simple animals. Think about our own deep history. We are vertebrates, animals with backbones. The first vertebrates were fish, and where do you find fish? In the water. The fossils of these early jawless fish and later sharks, bony fish, and everything in between are found in marine sediments. The ocean floor, or what used to be the ocean floor, is full of these clues. It's a timeline of how fish diversified, how they developed jaws, fins, and eventually how some of them crawled out onto land. The ocean was the incubator for all this early vertebrate evolution, but the ocean floor isn't just a place where things fall and settle, it's also moving. constantly. This is called plate tectonics. The Earth's surface is broken into huge plates, and these plates are slowly sliding around. New ocean floor is created at mid-ocean ridges, pushing the old floor away. And old ocean floor eventually gets pushed down into the Earth's mantle at deep sea trenches. This movement, this constant shifting, has a massive impact on evolution. Imagine continents drifting apart. When land masses separate, the oceans between them get bigger. This can isolate populations of animals and plants. If a group of fish lives on one side of a continent and that continent splits, they might become separated from their relatives. Over millions of years in their new separate environments, these groups will evolve differently. They'll adapt to slightly different conditions. Eventually, they become different species. So, plate tectonics, driven by the creation and destruction of ocean floor, is a huge engine for biodiversity. It creates barriers that encourage the formation of new species, and it also changes ocean currents. When continents move, the shape of the ocean basins changes. This redirects currents. Ocean currents are like massive conveyor belts. They move heat around the planet. They move nutrients. Changes in these currents can drastically alter global climate. For example, when the Drake Passage opened up between South America and Antarctica millions of years ago, it created a strong circumpolar current around Antarctica. This effectively isolated Antarctica from warmer waters, helping it to become very cold and leading to the formation of its massive ice sheets. This cooling changed global climates, impacting evolution all over the world. The ocean floor, through its record of plate movement, tells us about these climate shifts and their evolutionary consequences. Speaking of climate, the ocean floor is one of the best places to study past climates, and climate change is a massive driver of evolution. Tiny creatures like foraminifera and radiolarians live in the ocean. They make shells out of calcium carbonate or silica. When they die, their shells rain down to the ocean floor, creating thick layers of what we call ooze. These shells are incredible climate archives. Scientists can look at the chemical makeup of these shells, specifically different forms of oxygen, called isotopes. The ratio of these oxygen isotopes tells us about the temperature of the ocean water when the creature was alive. It also tells us how much ice was locked up in glaciers on land. So, by studying layers of these tiny shells in ocean floor sediments, we can reconstruct ocean temperatures and global ice volumes going back tens of millions of years. This data helps us understand the natural cycles of ice ages and warm periods that have shaped life on Earth. And it's not just shells. Ocean sediments also collect pollen and spores blown from land. These tell us what kind of plants were growing on continents in the past, giving us a picture of ancient landscapes and climates. Dust from deserts can also be found in ocean cores, showing us past wind patterns and how dry or wet different parts of the world were. Volcanic ash layers are like time markers, showing us when huge eruptions happened. These eruptions often changed global climate for a time, leading to evolutionary pressures. Sometimes the ocean floor records truly catastrophic events. Take the asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. This was a massive evolutionary turning point. We find a thin, distinct layer of iridium, a rare metal found in asteroids and ocean floor sediments all around the world. It's a clear marker of that impact event. This layer is often found right where there's a sudden, dramatic change in the types of marine fossils above and below it. Below the layer, you find many different kinds of tiny ocean creatures. Above it, there are far fewer and often different species. It's a clear record of a mass extinction event, followed by a period of recovery and new evolutionary paths for the survivors. The ocean floor preserved the smoking gun of one of the biggest evolutionary resets in Earth's history. The deep sea ecosystems we see today also give us a peek into the past. We talked about hydrothermal vents, but there are also cold seeps where methane or oil seeps out of the seafloor. These are similar to vents in that they support life based on chemical energy, not sunlight. These types of environments, independent of the sun, might have been more common and widespread early in Earth's history, before photosynthesis became dominant. The organisms that live in these extreme places today, like certain types of microbes, are thought to represent very ancient lineages, showing us how life can survive and even thrive in conditions that were once typical for our young planet. And then there are the abyssal plains. These are the vast, flat, very deep parts of the ocean floor. Conditions here are incredibly stable. Cold, dark, high pressure, very little food. Evolution in these places tends to be very slow. Some of the creatures living on the abyssal plains today are very ancient types. They've changed little over millions of years because their environment has been so consistent. They are living examples of slow evolution, of how stability can preserve older life forms. The ocean floor also records major extinction events beyond the dinosaur one. For example, the Permian-Triassic extinction, often called the Great Dying, was the most severe extinction event in Earth's history. About 252 million years ago, it wiped out over 90% of marine species. We see signs of this in ocean sediments too. Layers from that time show widespread anoxia, meaning the oceans lost most of their oxygen. This was likely caused by massive volcanic eruptions in Siberia, which poured huge amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, warming the planet and acidifying the oceans. The changes in the types of microfossils and the chemistry of the sediments on the ocean floor provide a clear record of this global catastrophe and its devastating impact on marine life, setting the stage for a new wave of evolution for the survivors. Even human evolution, though we are land creatures, has indirect links to the ocean floor. The climate cycles recorded in deep-sea sediments, the repeated ice ages and warmer periods profoundly shaped the environments where our ancestors lived. Sea levels dropped during ice ages, exposing land bridges that allowed early humans and other animals to migrate across continents. The changing ocean currents, driven by plate tectonics and ice sheets, affected rainfall patterns on land, influencing the spread of savannas and forests that our ancestors moved through. And, of course, coastal environments sustained by healthy oceans provided crucial food sources for many human populations throughout history. So, the ocean floor provides the environmental backdrop against which our own evolutionary story played out. How do we learn all this? How do we read this giant submerged book? Scientists use a lot of tools. We talked about core sampling. These research ships drop long pipes into the seafloor, pushing them down to collect cylinders of sediment. These cores can be hundreds of feet long, representing millions of years of history. Then there are submersibles. These are small submarines, sometimes robotic ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, sometimes human-occupied. They go down to the deep-sea floor, allowing scientists to see the vents, the cold seeps, the strange creatures, and the geological features up close. They can collect samples, take pictures, and make direct observations in these extreme environments. This is how we confirm what the sediment cores suggest. Sonar and seismic surveys are also crucial. Ships drag equipment behind them that sends sound waves down to the seafloor. These sound waves bounce back, creating detailed maps of the ocean bottom. They can also penetrate below the seafloor, revealing layers of rock and sediment, showing us ancient rivers, canyons, or even where volcanoes erupted long ago. This helps us understand the structure of the ocean floor and where to find interesting places for core sampling or submersible dives. Paleomagnetism is another clever tool. As new ocean floor is created at mid-ocean ridges, the iron-rich minerals in the cooling lava align with Earth's magnetic field. Our planet's magnetic field flips every so often, reversing north and south poles. These reversals are recorded as stripes of magnetic orientation on the ocean floor, symmetrical on either side of the ridges. Because we know the timing of these magnetic reversals from studying rocks on land, we can effectively date the ocean floor and measure how fast the plates have been moving. This is fundamental for understanding plate tectonics and its impact on evolution. So, when you put it all together, the ocean floor is far more than just deep water and mud. It's a dynamic, living archive. It holds the story of Earth's earliest life forms, the crucial steps in evolution from simple cells to complex animals, and the global forces like plate tectonics and climate change that have shaped life over billions of years. It records the quiet stretches of time and the catastrophic events. It shows us how interconnected all Earth systems are and how the ocean has always been at the heart of life's journey. And the amazing thing is, we've only just started to explore it. Much of the ocean floor remains uncharted, untouched. There are still so many more pages to turn in this ancient book. Every new discovery deep in the ocean gives us a clearer picture of our shared past, helping us understand not just where we came from, but also how life responds to change. It's a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life, and a vital key to understanding the future of our planet.